that's just the city's ordinance, Jim, eliminating, you know, it was good with them, right, Bill, to be able to do that, they could eliminate that, and I'm highlighting most of the things down here that they already speak of, in bulk waste in red. But what we need to do is go through this, we could do some up tonight as we talk here, and go through it, or, and give some more recommendations, what changes may or may not be. A lot of it in here is legal terms that probably need to be left. Like we're talking about that NCH, that's your mechanical handling, that tells how many, if you read on in here, how many apartment complex or whatever could have. Or the fact that one is provided, the second one they buy, but it's still they're not charged for picking anything up in that regard. Pick up. But most of the language, you guys have got a copy of the original, right? You got it last week, the last meeting from the city. And so we take this and we could adopt this document, modify it, and work with it, you know, as we go forward and become our policy.
Mr. Chairman, just one suggestion. Do you have any extra copies?
No.
Yeah, we need to get Barry a copy and Tommy a copy.
Yeah, okay. He can have this in just a minute. Well, Tim, give him one.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
But most of the language is already in here. If you look at the items, the description of construction waste, material, Jim, I don't know how well they're enforcing that in the city. The language is already there.
It's enforced.
Okay.
As far as if you reach up onto a spot and they got a bunch of brick and dirt laying there, it don't get touched. If there's tires there, it don't get touched. I think the county does that anyway. Any tires and things like that, of that nature, they already do that. It don't get touched. That'd be the homeowner's responsibility.
But then what have they done? Have they notified? No.
They'll come out and say that they picked up this, they didn't pick up this, so they'll get the message. They know. They're
Does
not gonna pick it up.
if the homeowner did the construction, remodeling themselves, they're still responsible to haul that off? You all don't haul it off?
Well, no, that's the line that, where the code enforcement comes in at, and that's where the drivers come in. If you see somebody doing this, doing a construction job, and that name's on the side of the truck and stuff like that, then that's when I think we don't need to go through this. You know, I think we're supposed to discuss this. We don't need to go through this right here, a 3-page piece of paper. We need to go ahead and have the drivers directly contact Tommy, I believe. That way, you know, it's just the same way with the tree trimmer and the construction guys do this. You don't want to wait 2 or 3 days to go through all this process to go catch them. You need to go catch them then. All you need to know then. So I think it's important, if you want to have a discussion now about this, it's important that the drivers have the number of Tommy over here, the codes enforcement, to go ahead and say, hey, you know, it's not the driver's place to say anything to those individuals. If he sees it, just move on.
Agreed. One thing but now Tommy opening up to take calls from everybody in the county could be, I'm thinking maybe it ought to go through, maybe back to Barry's office, and then they bring it in somehow, you know, but.
I think that's what you said downstairs, just raised.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that, but they need to have a direct line with him, one guy calling him, not 10 drivers.
Well, you only have 6.
Okay, my bad.
So, you're gonna find that eventually, after some time, that's gonna slow down. It's gonna slow down. They got their habitual people who do this, and they got people who constantly put this stuff out on every time, every week. And when that's done and dealt with, that number's gonna go down.
Tina's already got something in place, we're already using it for tires and paint and things like that. We've already got everything ready to, we see it, we send it out.
Well,
You gotta do this, you got so much time to do it in, you gotta get rid of it, here's where you can get rid of that, you know, that kind of thing. We've got that in place already,
but am I
we'll give
correct?
Sharon my number. That way, you know, you can do with it what, you know, with what guys you feel like.
There again, I emphasize the ID is numbered for that reason. We all know.
Jimmy, we were talking about that brush and stuff, that's even here, I just now noticed over here in section C, I guess the city is all brush, branch deflection on these sides, so this branch of C is 10 feet in length. That's on,
Where at now?
turn to the fourth page of that document, I think, it should be, you're on the city, see right there, up, C, right there, on the bottom of C.
Yes.
Right in the middle, right in the middle.
There it is, yeah.
Okay, so that's your all standard,
Yes.
12 inches diameter. Stumps will not be collected. That's a pretty good log, ain't it, Barry? 12 inch log. Have you seen that mess out of Crockville, from Crockville?
Yeah.
What's the weight limit? What's the weight limit on your boat?
You know, he's talking about stumps. We picked some pretty good stumps up. I mean, you could put two of them chairs together, we could pick it up. Some of the trucks won't if they're older, but those
So it's
newer
crucial
trucks.
though to have some sort of a weight restriction like that. And I've noticed some pretty good logs have been laid alongside the road.
Yeah,
I mean, they're up there, they've got you a telephone pole, what is it, about 70 feet long or whatever.
yeah.
And they're expecting, I mean, the citizens expecting you to get out, your guys come out there with chainsaws and everything.
Well, we had a lady call today and said she felt like it endangered her when she was going in and out of her residence because she couldn't see up and down the road when she came to the intersection. She came out of that dead-end street and looked left and right, couldn't see clearly up and down the road, so we went up there and got enough at the intersection to get it clear that you could see both ways. It wasn't on the schedule to do, but when you get a complaint from the public, they feel like they're endangered. If you don't respond appropriately, then you put yourself in a position of liability, so we went ahead and done that.
Right. But we also need to, that person needs to know. Let me back up here. I've not followed my property. Is there anyone who would wish to address this committee? You want to speak? Scott.
My name is Scott Cutshaw. I'm at 1336 Brookfield Drive, Morristown, Tennessee. Instead of going through a lot of this and changing and people being confused and having to be confused about this, wouldn't it be simpler to have a tip fee like we have on our garbage? If you got a pickup truck load to pick up at your home, that's picked up. But if it's over that, have like, if you go over here to like what used to be Tidy Waste, you rent one of their bins, it's $125. Pick it up, give them a bill for $125. If you find out one of these tree trimming companies cut down trees and tell the homeowner, I'll cut it for you cheaper if you have the county to haul it off, and you give that homeowner a bill for $125, he's going to turn around and he's going to tell you who cut them trees. Then you go to that tree trimming company, give them the $125 tip fee, plus a $250 fine for putting the homeowner in that position. Same way with your landlords of your apartment complexes, whenever all that stuff out of the apartments piled up there for the county to pick up, only thing you do is send the landlord a $150 or $125 tip fee, and then he turns around and gets it back from his renter. And it simplifies every bit of this, and it makes it an even level playing field for everybody in the county. Not one person's getting done this way, and one person's getting done this way, and we'll look at this situation this way, and we'll look at this situation this way. It's all on an even playing field. If you're retired, I mean, you know, you make an exception in that right there. If you have a contractor who's putting stuff out there, contract stuff, that right there, if it's lumber and stuff like that, you do a $125 tip fee. If they got cinder blocks and bricks, you charge them a $250 fine because they ought to know better. At that moment in time, you charge them that one time, they'll get the picture of, that's not what I need to be doing. And it'll get everybody working that in to where if you got more than that pickup truck load, you'll put out a pickup truck load this time around whenever Barry comes by to pick it up. And then the next time that it comes around, you'll set out another pickup truck load to keep from paying that $125 tip fee. But it makes it even for everybody in the county, because the situation that you're looking at is that guy who owns that commercial property, he's paying 40% tax versus 25% for residential. That's a 15% more tax. He's paying more in taxes for the extra, if you understand what I'm saying, for the services that he's putting on the county to have to take care of. But with that tip fee, which we pay on our garbage anyway, in bulk garbage, just do it the same way. If you have to go rent one of them, why give the money to an outside company and go over and pick up people's stuff when we could put that $125 into our general fund and the county be making a little bit of money for having to do the work? It would put new revenue into the county's pockets. And that would be a simplified way to where everybody's paying the same. And it would also keep it from people putting out bulk. They'd put out enough for a pickup truckload this time and then going out next time. Like I said, you find these contractors who do that once or twice, they're not going to do it again. The only way you're going to stop something is digging somebody's pocket. You can put out every rule and regulation, you can threaten them with a lawsuit, they can see if they can beat it in court. But if you just put it simplified, it's simple for everybody. Didn't mean to take up the time, but to me, that's just a simple way of doing it.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you. Anyone else?
I got something I want to say. I went up on Coxdale today because Mr. Neesmith asked me to. So I did, and I saw what y'all were talking about. I don't put out that stuff. I've got a pickup truck, me and my husband, when we got 2 renters, we take ours to the landfill. Now, everybody don't have a pickup truck. Everybody don't want to do that. But I do, because I respect my community. But everybody don't do that. Okay, I saw in the city, I reported a thing in the city to the planning to the code enforcer there, or the zoning men, and they went and they cleaned the mess up. But they have couches and chairs and mattresses and beds and everything else that they throw out in the city. I saw it today. Do y'all pick that up, Mr. Seb?
Mattresses and beds?
Yeah.
Yes.
But in the county, y'all are wanting to stop that.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Well, what are you wanting to stop?
Abuse.
Well, who's doing the abusing?
That's what we're discussing and getting to the bottom of.
Do you think all taxpayers are abusing it?
No, ma'am, not at all. No one has said that either.
Mm-hmm. Well, then like that gentleman said just then, why not charge those that are abusing it?
We're working on that.
And don't take away the bulk waste for the residents that need that.
Gwen, understand this. The bulk waste pickup is not going to be taken away, period.
Good.
Period.
All right.
Okay? We're going to restructure how it's being done, define what it is. Number one, define what is bulk waste. What items are to be put out there. Bulk waste is anything that can't go in the green container.
Well, that goes for couches, chairs, and mattresses.
That is bulk waste.
And how are those people that are used to the county and the city picking up that stuff going to take it to the landfill if they don't have a truck?
No, we're talking about picking it up, Gwen.
Huh?
We're talking about picking it up, honey.
Oh, you are going to?
Yeah.
Well, we're not doing away with
Yeah.
bulk waste.
That
We're
is
gonna
what
make it
bulk
that.
waste is to be picked up.
Okay, good. I just don't want it taken away from the older folks that don't have a truck.
It's not going to be taken.
We're not-
Myself, I don't use the service. I'd rather take it to the landfill myself.
We're not doing away with it.
But I feel sorry for the people that don't have trucks that can't take it. Well, good. I hope you don't.
We're not.
Well, we'll see.
We're not.
The proof is in the pudding, okay?
Hey, we're not even talking
Okay.
about that.
The proof is in the pudding. I'll have to see it to believe it.
Nobody suggested it.
I'm like Doubting Thomas. I have to see it before I believe it, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got, Chris and Jimmy. I remodel some steps too. Like they said, they see a truck coming there with a name on it. I ain't no electrician. I'm gonna hire somebody to warm my house or my fans and air conditioning. And they see the trash out there, are they gonna report me? Cause I have a guy there doing my electrician. I'd put all the woodwork, sheet rocks and things. I put it out there on the road there. And they see the sign there where I paid somebody to come in there. Cause I ain't gonna touch no water or anything like that. But how y'all gonna do about that?
Let's say that again. You're talking about doing a
Okay,
construction job.
I'm gonna remodel rooms,
Okay.
everything. I put up sheet rocks and then put up some wood and stuff like that, and I take it out there, the old stuff piles on the road. Well, I got some water here and I need some plugs put in. So I contact this guy, I say, like Chris, the electrician, he pulled his truck up out in the yard, he see the sign there, and then they ain't gonna come pick up all that, cause they think the guy remodeling my house, he piled it up on the road and stuff.
Per the city's document here,
I'm talking about the county.
okay, I understand, I'm talking about the county
Okay.
too. Construction waste is not picked up.
Chairman, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what you're saying is, what we're looking at is a mass amount.
Yeah, I know that, like bricks and
If we
then,
see just a board or two or something, I think Barry can help me on this answer on this.
yeah.
They're gonna pick that up, a small little half bite. They're probably gonna pick that up.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at large amounts of stuff that people are taking advantage of, commercial people.
Oh, yeah, I know what about that, but I'm talking about like maybe I'm just gonna tear out 2 rooms. You know, you tear out 2 rooms, you're gonna have a lot of stuff piled out there. New boards, new sheet rock, panels and stuff like that, carpet, stuff like that. Well, I want maybe 6 plugs put in. I call an electrician come in, they come by and see my trash there and see that sign there, think it's gonna be a commercial job. They did all the work, they piled it up there on the road.
So if they call, so if you're saying that they call Tommy, he's
Yeah,
gonna come and see you.
yeah,
And you're gonna tell Tommy that, no, I done this myself.
yeah.
So Tommy's gonna come back and say, hey, Barry, tell you guys gonna pick it up. He done it himself.
Well, that's what I was going about. Thank y'all.
Time's up.
What's your name? What's yours?
Eddie Cox, Bolton Ridge, Mountain.
Your name?
Eddie Cox. I'm sorry.
That's my thing.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. But anyway, down here, I mean, particularly reading, in this document here with the city, I'm trying to find it in the city code here. This speaks, most construction waste such as scrap, lumber, plaster, roofing, concrete, materials, street road, remodeling, demolition, of any building, furnace, private property shall not be removed by the Department of Public Works. So you are doing that.
I'm sorry, say it
Is the
again.
city doing that? You're actually picking up what he's talking about, demolition, remodel, wood,
Yeah.
plaster, sheet rock.
If it's a small amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, small amount, yeah.
If we, usually the codes enforcement's gonna catch a lot of that. You know, what I call a half bite, a half bucket, it's just a few pieces or something. And you know, you see somebody turn a house out and it's got all the way down the road, you know, 3 loads, and that's where I'd say, okay, we got an issue.
Yeah, like the house gets on fire, you have to remodel all. Scotty, that may be something we want to look at right here on this,
Yeah.
put a limit on construction waste, maybe. Instead of eliminating all of it, put some type of limit on construction waste. Because, I mean, there are valid points here of homeowners doing a little bathroom remodel and doesn't have much of nothing out there. No problem picking that up, maybe.
But what we're getting into here now is trying to define
Yeah, who's gonna do
what's a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's that, with that kind of stuff, it's hard to, his definition of a small amount
Is in
might not
different
be my criteria for small amount. So then we got And then we say, well, we're gonna pick his up, we go down here, and
Right.
Barry's got one board more,
Right.
you know, we go, well, we'll pick Barry's up.
Yeah,
I mean, it really puts us in a, you know, back against the wall.
right.
So I think we've gotta have definitive, very definitive cutoffs, and all the way across the board, be fair,
Right.
all the way across the board.
I agree.
I agree with you. Here's something that Jim, you and I discussed this the other day, back to you, for example, talking about taking your waste out there, that, that property that any debris comes from, whether it's construction or not, because the landfill management is complaining to him about certain people in town are bringing a lot of their own, and thank God they're doing that. But then that they should be charged on commercial property. Every piece of garbage that we were picking up any bulk waste or anything from, it's coming from a tax generating piece of property. Whether it be commercial. I guess what I'm trying to say is, why do we see it that we charge a commercial person if they're taking it to the landfill versus a residential person? As long as they identify the property it came from.
Because I have a
Let me
business.
give you,
and I don't-
Tim, your case in point.
Give me an example.
Can I use your point? Okay, the gentleman, came to us, talked to us about this, that he was remodeling Cliff's house. Okay, if he takes it out there to the landfill in his flatbed truck, behind his pickup truck, they give him his address, there's no questions asked, it's accumulated on his 6,000 pounds on his property, okay? But if he took it out there in his dump truck, automatically they're blowing a fit and now want to make him pay extra to do that. Follow what I'm trying to say? With the property, no matter what, let's say this guy's flipping a house, no matter what, within 12 months, there's going to
It's
be
a
taxes
business.
paid on that, and the 23 cents is paid on that property throughout the year. So why is there a difference, or why is there a different standard? I mean, what we want is want them to take it. I mean, you follow me? You want them to take it there and not have to have these guys pick it up. Why do you want to penalize them, or why do you want to deter them from doing that?
The thing was,
Example,
For
but the really
business.
point I'm trying to get
Yeah,
at, a
for
few trailer
business.
parks that do take it out there. Their own elimination, they do take it out there. Well, thank God they're taking it out there, some pilot up the side of the road for him, for us to deal with and have this
I
discussion.
have a business.
So why should they be penalized? Do you follow what I mean?
his point was the same trash, if he took it on a flatbed trailer, they didn't charge him, but if he took it in his dump truck, which is his farm truck, then they wanted to charge him as it was commercial, just because it's a dump truck, and but it was the same trash, whether he hauled.
It was based on, in that situation, the type of vehicle.
Identify the vehicle, yes, yeah. And or people that are doing it, you know, knowing that they're doing it for the people. I guess my whole point is they're taking it to the landfill for us, they're saving us money. It's coming from a tax generating piece of property, that's my question.
I get that whole policy started at the landfill because you were having commercial people with the names on the side of their trucks bringing bulk waste out there or commercial debris out there saying, this came from my house.
Right.
You know, it's just to flip the abuse.
Once they run out of that 6,000 pounds, they'll say another address.
Then they started, yeah, and then they started.
Give them another address
6,000.
or whatever, yeah.
I mean, those who want to abuse the system are going to abuse it, they're going to find a way to.
We don't have any control over what the
No.
landfill does.
No.
Well, you've got a representative on the landfill, you've got board members who
But
could.
you just one, well, we've got two.
He's more than one.
There's,
You've got-
I know that there's supposed to be more out there representing the county, but I don't know how well they're doing. I'm not talking about you just went on that.
Well, I was just curious, you know, when in that kind of discussion, just, you know, like, wow, here we are, you start wanting to deter someone to just put it out there. And I think this has happened before. The creative part of this is, you know, hey, we're gonna have to charge you if you put it out in the ditch line yourself and then bury it and pick it up for free, so why are you doing it? You know, why are the citizens taking that effort to go take it?
We'll have that discussion.
You follow me? I mean, everybody, in this whole thing, whatever we do come down and rationalize it, everybody's got to be on the same page. You know, your department's got to be on the same page as everyone else, because, I mean, I've talked to a landlord just recently, back to this apartment thing, we think it's all eviction, but his wasn't that situation. I mean, he left that day, and one of his tenants moved out, dumped everything into the road, and it was a mountain, okay? Which most of us drive by and we think that landlord's evicted someone. Now, he did the right thing and had it hauled off, but when he got into a verbal discussion with the tenant said that they'd called the office and they told him to do it. You know, now whether they did or they didn't, that's neither here nor there. So you follow me where you're getting into it. So once you get a standard, and we can get a standard established, just like Bobby said, we have to stick to it. You know, we have to stick to it. Like Brad Coach talked to you, Barry, it'd be nice if we could get it down to when people could call in, like when back to, you know, I mean, the term bulk waste, and this, I don't think I can put that in here. The term bulk waste is just strictly that. I mean, it's a couch, a chair, it's an appliance, it's a wash machine, a dryer, you know, it's a big item. If they can't.
Anything that doesn't fit in a garbage can.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be bags of garbage.
No.
Okay, it's cardboard boxes, you know, that people are telling people, well, when they move in a house, just put your cardboard boxes in the dish line. You know, and that's not bulk waste, that's not what it was all about. It's a bulk item. It's an item too big to go into the green can.
Unless you
And
break
if
it
they need more
down.
than one green can, there again, it's in here. They can have more than one. We're not charging them an extra fee to pick up 2 cans. They gotta pay the fee to get the can, right? One's provided.
Yeah, if we can get them to flatten them out and pile them up, we'll get it with a recycle truck.
Amen.
It's a recyclable item.
Right.
Do they need to be put into another container? Do you pick up recycle, do you pick up bags? I keep mine inside a can with a blue.
Yeah, if it's separated from the garbage cart, if it's separate, and they know.
See, I go back to living in the world that if it wasn't in that can, you wouldn't picking it up.
Yeah,
But they have to pull it out of the can anyway. And so if a box or a bag is right there beside that can, they pick it up and put it in there.
yeah. Because we
If
don't
it's
have,
broke down.
we don't have any provided carts like we do garbage. They have to provide your own cart or your own means by which to put recycle out.
Is a recycle, we'll bring up the question here, but is a recycle profitable enough down the road that we can do cans, blue cans?
I think Bill's got, John's working on that. I don't know if it'll come together to a place where we can issue them to everybody, but she's working on that.
On some grant opportunities.
Well, what we have, you said if this is a regular can, we got a recycle can.
Got all grants.
Okay. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Taxpayers get paid for
But it would be hard to get everything in a can, especially boxes.
Not if you take a knife and cut them up. It's a little work for people.
it. Forget that.
They're making them lazy. I mean,
I
there's
just
nothing
broke
like
down
driving
one
by
this
and
morning.
2-inch screen box,
I know, but
2-inch
those
screen.
cans will only hold.
Cause somebody wouldn't break it
I'll have
down.
2 or 3 bags of recyclables in my can, and it's about the size of a garbage can.
Yeah. Okay.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
I don't know, ask another question on something else. On the second page of this right here, looking at number 12,
Right.
we're gonna stop at commercial period. I think it says here 5 units or more. We're gonna stop at commercial period, in other words, it's a duplex, whatever on up, we're not gonna get it. Am I right?
Well, you know, in thinking back to like what the gentleman said about, Scott said there about I mean, if you've got a bulk waste pickup, and you're gonna allow someone to put a couch out there and call in and get that couch pickup, a tenant in an apartment complex should be able to do likewise. You follow what I mean?
I do.
Not the massive piling it up and then send it back. Where you're getting down to your problem, this is why we're running into a lot of problem. And, I mean, you can go over here, you guys even got it written that someone can't even, it's a crime to, pilfer through it.
Go through it, yeah.
Okay? I mean, that's in your own documentation, it's a crime to pilfer through it. But if they're putting out bags of debris, well, Mr. Shopper's gonna look, he's gonna figure it out. But if it's a couch or a chair or a desk and he takes that, then that's fantastic. He saved him a job. Bulk waste is strictly, here's what bulk waste is, guys, in any town, pretty much in the country, it's right here, it's furniture, bedding, appliances, any items that are size, shape, or weight cannot be placed in that MHC. You know, a grill, you know what I mean? That's bulk waste, that's what it is, anything you do anywhere
We're
else.
gonna take it to the
But most places, if we could get to it, and this would be really great, I don't know how Barry could do it, but you call them in, I need this picked up. This is what, okay, what do you got? They tell you, no, that, okay, you put that out. They'll let you know to put it out on Tuesday of next week. We'll pick it up on Wednesday. Don't put it out for Tuesday.
Right.
I mean, there's towns that fine people heavily for doing this kind of stuff.
Well, it's supposed to be in the city.
Yeah.
We've got 3 days or so before.
So that he's got, but I don't know how that works as far as being able to route and that kind of thing. Have you given any thoughts on routing and how that can be,
Yeah.
some things could change as long as you get the volume down, right? But
Yeah, if we could get these items y'all talking about, if they were eliminated,
yeah,
then we decide how many bites we want to take, is like Jim said. How many bites do we want to take every time we stop and have a maximum number of bites? And then pick up the outriggers and move on. But if you get somebody that's got 4 truckloads and we take 3 bites at a time, it's all we're gonna take, we're gonna have to go back to that property for 3 months to get it all.
mhm.
So it's gonna be unsightly, and it's gonna be laying in the ditch.
But also that person would be in violation at that point, correct?
It's according to what kind of stipulations you make. What you saying, that they can't put it out beyond
No.
three days before, or
Well,
outside
yeah.
that 3-day window or something?
Yeah, if we come up with that, I know we're still a lot in the discussions, we're trying to educate ourselves right now, to what we need to do, what works the best. Like Jim pointed out to me, in the regulation the city uses now, the size of the size of the pile of bulk waste placed for the county to pick up shall be no larger than 5 feet long, 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide. I mean, if we, I know that's a ballpark, we're not gonna get the measuring stick out and try to limit that, but if we can come up with that cubic feet or how many bites that is and try to limit, I don't wanna do away with bulk waste, but I think, to help everybody, we gotta come up with that standard that Bobby Hall was talking about, that we can all live by.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, that one day that somebody's got 1 extra bite. I'm not looking, but I want it to be fair for everybody.
Well, to make it fair for everybody, you gotta do the same thing every time you do it. You can't make exceptions, even if you're a commissioner.
Yes, sir, I got you.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah, I
if
understand.
that's the way we're gonna roll, that's the way we're gonna roll.
Right.
There shouldn't be. I mean, if there's a standard, there's a standard. That's the way it should be done.
You see, I'm willing to debate in
So you
this
don't-
size, that if there's a 2x4 or 2 or a piece of sheetrock in that, I'm willing to accept that. But yet our regulation right now says none. And that's where, I'm just saying, if it fits this criteria of pickup,
Yeah.
I'll say go for it, but I'm asking for a debate on this, not that I have, and, what Scott brought to the table is something we've already discussed. As far as charging them to go pick up, your idea is valid. I don't know if it works countywide like what you're suggesting, but yet, if we got these commercial properties that have too much to pick up, then we charge them $125 or whatever fee we want to go pick it up for them.
Well, we need to find that out.
Yeah, I'm just,
But if it's a construction site, there would be a fine attached to it.
I got
and-
you.
and
We're
they
not
wouldn't-
giving up the construction side.
They wouldn't be doing that, but once, and they would realize, I need to pick this up and get my own meat.
Well, that's gonna be part of education. It may take time to get to that point. But anyways, back to the original point, can we define load? You know, and break it down, start with load, or, you know, number one, the commercial. What is a commercial pickup that we're gonna do away with? Does that mean, somebody paid for it? Is that what we're calling commercial, or are we calling commercial an apartment complex when that tenant has a right to actually put out an old mattress? You know, we're just trying to exclude that total eviction kind of thing, where they're cleaning out the whole deal.
You know, the dumping.
You know, we're gonna have to tweak some of these verbiage maybe to fit what we're
Well, I
doing.
mean, you're gonna go through as you start policing it, you'll find it out, but like this gentleman that I quote talked about here a minute ago that didn't do it, which would, you looked at it and you thought it was an apartment complex owner, he did the right thing and just had his people go get it, load it, and haul it off. And his number one justification for that, I wanna rent that property. I can't have that
Yeah,
piled up right there for 6
Exactly.
weeks, somebody wants to come in here and rent my property,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And, I mean, he would have never done it, but his tenant did it,
Right.
while they were gone. So some of it could be tenants in these apartment complexes, but these people still have to be responsible for the tenants.
That's it, it's their property.
It's their
Amen.
problem.
Mine is, they're making a profit off that property,
Right.
and they're responsible. Their name's on the deed, so to speak. So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it comes back, you time most of this, if you go through this and mark this up for us here over the next few weeks, this document you got here, Taylor, this one here, right there in front of you, and make any changes or whatever you see that there may be changes. I mean, like, right here, if you read down through here, they've written this thing very well. This thing's very well documented. You know, yard waste, such terms shall mean grass clippings, leaves, tree, shrubbery trimmings, and other related waste materials accumulated by the property resident. It does not include land clearing. That's Croxdale Road, land clearing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is out there. Now, what happened to the days the guy's gonna clear property that he didn't pile it up and burn it? Is that against the law now? I mean, that people
You
not
have
do
to get a
that?
permit.
Oh, you can do that.
Depends on time of the year.
You have to get a burning permit. You just call it in.
You can get one now.
You can do it.
It dries it.
So there is a part of time of year you don't burn, or they ask not to, but most of the time you can.
You can burn it, yeah. So, I mean, that's land clearing. You follow me, Barry? And here's what these guys, you gotta take care of and get that out there. You shouldn't be cleaning that, honestly.
They shouldn't put it there.
And that's growing on you too, isn't it? To a certain, I mean, that's one, I just know 2 or 3 different times in the county here lately that people are literally clearing property expecting the county to haul it off. So, I mean, this verbiage is already in here. I mean, it says that materials cut by private enterprise or professional tree trimmer. You know, we may want to change that to put, you know, there again, it does not include land clearing, even by the owner. Private enterprise or professional. You follow me? That's the kind of word we want to put in here, in that section there. Change it so we can keep enhancing this document and it become our document of record.
What if a private owner is trimming his own trees, like the lambs?
That's legal.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay. I was back to clearing land.
No, just
I mean,
trees.
even in here, I'd almost change this verbiage over here where Jim found it right there. I mean, 12-inch log is a huge log. That's a foot thick log. That's a tree. I mean, now you're not gonna handle the stump, but again, you're getting into problems with your equipment.
Well, he says that they pick up stumps. Stumps
certain
that's not as big as a car.
Yeah, not as big.
Yeah, I'm just saying here though, this over here defines
But it says stumps.
10 feet in length and 12 inches in diameter. You know, stumps will not be included. You said that before. You all kind of look for dirt or whatever, any dirt. All brush branches to be collected.
You said 12 feet, your driver
The
did.
definition in here is pretty good. You know, it goes back to this size, 5 foot. It gives something that you can work with in most regard, and comes back to, I mean, there's gonna be some things in here that some people are not gonna like. I mean, I hate to say that, but, most cities, if you go around and you look, and I've been researching a lot of them, construction materials is not part of bulk waste pickup at all, period. There's no construction material. Bulk waste comes back to what I'm talking about. You need to get rid of a yard grill. You need to get rid of an old appliance that you've replaced. You know, I mean, it comes back to what Esco said, a hot water heater, whatever. You know, that's bulk waste. And that's how you go out there and grab it and you go where you go. Because anything that's, you know, this stuff, there again, if you think about it, these are all big items that I keep referring to that aren't gonna leave litter. I mean, because you got other things, if someone's doing a remodel job, he puts out sheetrock plaster, and now somebody needs to go back and rake and clean that up after you pick it up. You know, you've got debris, and it's right there in that ditch line too. So that's not bulk waste, it's not considered bulk waste. But just, and then, I mean, over here it says, over here it's unlawful for any person move, remove, reset, scatter, tamper with, use, carry away, deface, mutilate, destroy, blah, blah. Interfere with any garbage can, now, garbage can container and bulk waste pile. Because this document is referring to back to mechanically handled container, you know, the garbage cans too. But I think that the verbiage of that should stay in here, you know. All these prohibitive items from blood, pathogen, radioactive waste, you know, they've got it all identified. So, I mean, most of that you want to leave in here is just from a legal standpoint, because you don't want people putting that out. And then the containers, so, you know, this is a start for us on this document, you know, our Bill, what would we be calling this? Would be our policy? Our bulk waste policy? So when we're gonna pick up bulk waste, what is it? How quick can we get it picked up?
Okay.
You know, and how much, and even Barry, I mean, it comes back to this, go back to this, and I thought about this, Barry, on this commercial property, you know, so much for example, is a truckload a month on tree trimming for one resident. You follow me? To help eliminate that 20 truckload that someone expects you to come out there and do for free. You know, that kind of thing.
Also, I think something needs to be said about, I think I mentioned it last time, if there's trash and brush mixed.
Oh, it's gotta be, yeah, we gotta put the verbiage in here, it needs to be
You know,
kept
it goes
separated.
all in the landfill. If it's separated, then you can burn the brush and trash. But if people aren't, you gotta educate them to not do that.
They can't be put together.
I think you guys are still trying to do that as you go, I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct. As you go down a subdivision where you're trying to pick out the brush and go, you're still trying to work that in.
You
I
can
just
pick
think a lot
up
of
very many refrigerators,
I just think
Washing
done
and
it.
dryers.
I just think it can.
In our neighborhood, there's somebody comes down and picks it up, takes it to the crusher.
Yeah, that's our experience.
That's the difference between debris and bulk waste, right? That's what we want to say. Debris being yard,
Yeah.
tree, limbs, all that. We want
Well,
to
that's-
separate
As in this document, they're referring to that as yard waste.
yard waste. And bulk
That's your-
waste being the mattresses.
Yeah, they're calling it bulky waste, and then they're gonna get bulk waste to be your big items. Garbage is also, everything's in here is termed, garbage is, includes household waste, equipment, unlimited food, waste bottles, waste paper cans, clothing, general refuse. It shall exclude yard waste, construction waste, hazardous waste, human or animal, fecal matter, dead animals, bulk waste. So, you know, there's a definition for garbage too. To me, I mean, garbage bags full of clothing put in the ditch line is not bulk waste. It's
They'll do it.
Tuesday, I got a phone call from a neighbor.
Nice.
It was out on Grand Drive. I go out there. Chain link fence is that far from the pavement. I don't know if somebody was just leaving the house or what, but it was 25 feet long. And Barry will probably see it. There was all kinds of things, mattresses, old pieces of furniture and things like that. Then, we had rugs, we had clothing, we had garbage, empty Pepsi cans, and all that was piled up at the street. There was one bag that I saw, one one black bag, and it was squished up under a piece of furniture. I didn't take a picture of the garbage can, but the garbage can was sitting up there next to the garage door, and the lid was open on it, and I didn't see any garbage. So, you know, in our training or, you know, just getting the word out to people, if it can fit in a garbage bag,
Put it in
it should
there.
fit in the green can. You know, I mean, if we want to get size or whatever, if we want to kind of help go that route, I mean, it was ridiculous that the garbage can was empty. I mean, I didn't go in the yard, but I seen the lid was open and there was no garbage in it. And it was piled up in the street, just piled up. And you know, if we could just say, if it'll fit in the garbage bag, it'll fit in the green can, you know, so.
Well, I mean, this, if you read this document, you read it right here, you know, what a person is expected to do, keep the premises clean, sanitary condition. You know, it goes all first to the county, should keep their premises in clean, sanitary condition, free of accumulation of refuse, filth, and trash. This person stores such refuge between intervals of collection and dispose such materials in the MHC or other manners may be prescribed to the health officer that can not cause a nuisance, become injurious. I mean, it's there, it's, the verbiage is here.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we start educating people, I think that'd be a good way to put it out there.
What you're gonna see on some cases like that, they miss the garbage guy. You dump it next to the side of the road, bring it, you can't next to the house, or the other guy will pick that up.
That's a good point. I never would have thought of that. I wouldn't, well, I mean, I wouldn't dump my garbage out on the street like that either, but that is a good point. I mean, yeah.
Man, could you repeat that?
Yeah, Tim, say that again.
Could you repeat that, what you just said?
What's that?
Could you repeat what you just said?
That's what sometimes people will do, they'll miss the garbage can. And they'll take the garbage can next to the side of the road, hoping that the guy in the bucket truck will come by, knuckle road truck will come by and get it. And he'll dump his bags out next to the road, put the empty can next to the house. He got rid of it.
Yeah, that person.
Duh.
Citation.
Right.
And they'll do it, they'll miss it.
It's a class D felony.
Barry, how do you, how have you, what do you think about routing and how can we?
I don't know if it makes any difference to you, but right now, it's not, the stuff that people are putting out there is not so heavy, and we can go through the west end in a week and the east end in a week. You know, November, December, January, February, we can easily pick it up once a week.
Right.
But the schedule changes, you know, when March and April road range get into the warm months, so I think you probably need to, eventually, if you wanna try to control it, do the same thing all year long, regardless of what the demand might be, so, but right now, the schedule's not hard to meet, but it would have been in June and July.
So how are you scheduling now, though? I mean, how does the public know? Is it on the side?
We can't give them a schedule, we can just tell you, we're working on Monday's route today. If we get through with it, we'll go to Tuesday's route. You know, we're just working through the Monday through Friday routes, like in sequence. And I can't tell you.
Let me ask Jimmy a question. I'm not on this committee, but I'm curious about several things that are coming up and being discussed. What is the legal way for someone like me that does remodeling like big old ugly house I got? Does the lumber and sheet rock have to be put in two different piles? How do y'all handle that?
You try to wanna put anything that'll burn in that one pile. Lumber, you know, timber, as far as landscaping timber
Yep.
and brush, you'll put all that stuff in one pile. Try anything that'll burn, you won't put that separate. It'd be nice to separate that up.
Okay. Well, while you're sitting here, I want to compliment y'all on what y'all do. I know how hard work you guys work, and, my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
But what we're trying to do there is just get a standard so we can educate the public. It might take 3 years to clean up Hamilton County, but we have to get to where we've got a system.
Be nice.
You know, a system that'll work. As far as commercial people taking advantage and firms, and then we get into citations, we're gonna have to do it. You know?
Yeah.
They the city's been doing that quite well, haven't they? I told, the actual fees are being paid once it's attached to the property.
I apologize, one of the questions.
You may not know this, but I know it came from, Jim Clausen, treasurer. He said that, he's seen a lot of that, and people are definitely coming in and paying, we're around the mow, the maintenance things.
Well, you're gonna see a lot of landscapers do that. Not just people trimming trees, but landscapers are notorious also. In the city. I don't know how it is in the county, because we don't put, in the city, we pick up grass and leaves. In the county, we don't do that. So that's one of the biggest things for landscapers to do is pick it, take that grass and leaves you dumps out, especially this time of year coming up. A lot of leaves in the cities dumped on the side of the road. Landscapers do that.
And you got, what, 2 trucks mixed up leaves, or 3?
We had 5.
Or 5, right? I know 2 come around my neighborhood, I know that. And Barry, the counties, sometimes, I know mine, on picking up brush, they come every 2 weeks. And I know you've been talking about every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I know they just pick up my brush at when I pile it up like that. So, I mean, I know that's all they do. When I do, they do pick up some stuff.
Yeah.
I know one house down there, they picked up 5 loads. I don't know how they got it in the house, but he had a job picking up that 5 loads. Yeah, right across from Charlie Collins, that little house right there. I guess you've seen the trash. I still don't know how they got it in the house.
Chris, was you wanting to ask a question about, we asked you about what the cube was, what the trailer was inside of it?
Yeah, we were wanting to find that load, just try, I don't know where to really begin. I'm willing to go and study what we have here
Right.
and come back with some recommendations but I want to know what a load is.
He's got that in here.
Well, I know it is, I know that.
But we was asking Barry about the truck.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is your cube?
What a load is for him.
Because we have.
You talked about bites a while ago, Jim. How many bites you think it's according to what you're picking up, though, isn't
What
it?
you pick up, it can be.
Oh, yeah, when you start picking up the furniture stuff, you've got a boatload, you don't have no weight.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of void
But
space. in it.
10-foot long tree, is that statement, is that okay? 10 foot, the trailer's 10 foot long?
I said 12
I'd
foot.
like to have it so that it's half the length of that bed.
What's
So you
that?
could put, instead of it, if you put 10 foot in a 15-foot bed, you've taken 2/3 of it up
Okay.
instead of
Okay,
design it so it's half the bed.
this line right here,
We need to
the
adjust
length, like with your brush, what would you like that brush to be lengthwise?
I'll have to, I think they're 20-foot beds.
That may be why they've got 10 in here.
You say 12.
Now,
Let me check. Jim, do you remember what size bed we
16.
got?
You're talking about the bed of your trucks. They're 16 foot.
16.
Yeah.
So we
Now,
want to
here's
go.
the thing of it. If you say no more than 16 foot, they're gonna cut it 18 or 20.
Yeah.
You say 8 foot, they're gonna cut it 10 foot.
I know your driver told me 12 foot.
So you kind of give them.
One of your drivers did. 12 foot.
I think, it's just my opinion, what I say, I would keep it at that shorter length. And it's up to you what you want.
Well, if we say if you did 8, then you said we're gonna do 10, right?
Yeah,
So we make it
so
8.
we may want to raise.
You make the standard
Rise
8.
that to 8.
You understand
What would the
that?
diameter
What I'm saying?
be? What would the max diameter be that you believe you should be picking up as far as a tree trimming?
Yeah.
That ain't no 12.
Hey, the driver told me 12
Is
foot.
it trimmed off a tree?
One of the drivers told me 12 foot.
If you're trimming your own trees, unless you cut one down, you don't get that big.
No, you're gonna drag it out there fast you can, you ain't
No,
gonna cut it,
no.
you ain't gonna cut it length, you just.
My
So,
husband
so,
does.
so let's say,
My
let's say
husband
8
does.
feet, and what do you want to put on the diameter?
I don't want to take away a man's right to cut a big 3-foot tree down if he's capable of it.
They ought to fall down.
Yeah.
If it falls down, that's right. He cuts it up and takes it to the road himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take away his right to do that.
He's gonna cut it up, release it up to his truck and drag it up to the road, like I do.
So we may need to adjust that
Yeah.
24 inch or something.
I said 12 foot.
How do you police the professional landscapers?
Well, we just, if we catch them, we go tell them we're not gonna pick it up, that they're responsible for it. And some of them said, okay, that's fine, and just get rid of us, and then 3 months later, there it lays. And the public in the neighborhood's calling us saying, what y'all gonna do with this? And we don't have the
But see,
authority to find them or make them.
Right, but that's where we can get back to doing that. I mean, because plainly, I mean, Barry, this same document that the city's using over here in the back, it has penalties in it.
Well, they leave that stuff on the street, and a good rainstorm gives you a hell of a sewer problem too.
It says, you know, like over here, I mean, I'll get you a copy, you take this copy with you. But over in the back, I mean, any person violating for this chapter says civil penalty with the county to exceed, I put the county there, what city? $76 per day, through payment distribution, blah, blah, blah. You know, $500 for each day of the violation, up to $500. So, I mean, they've got stipulations where you start putting penalties on people, as he's talking about, and they're going to change their habit.
Yeah.
Honestly believe that.
This will take time.
But it take time, yeah, it take time, and you'll have people who stand their ground, they're not gonna do it, they're not gonna move.
It hit national change, right?
Yeah. Well, that goes back to the same thing with the maintenance codes too, I mean, 'cause you're
Scotty,
anyway, take this document and mark it up.
Scotty, my name's James Page. I live in 496 Mixed Street. The way I understand you, you're saying if I trim the trees myself, that you'll haul it off. If I hire somebody to trim it,
They have
they
to,
won't
That's the
haul
way
it.
it is now, that's the standard now.
That's not the way it is now. Bury
No,
hauls,
it is. No,
Bury
no,
hauls
wait a
off
minute,
anything
wait a minute,
side
wait a
the
minute.
road.
Excuse me, just a second, that's the standard, the way it is supposed to be done
Well,
now.
okay, so I didn't say it wasn't supposed to be. I'm saying the way it is now. Bury don't turn, he does a wonderful job of picking up everything coming and going. What you're fixing to do is, when I was about 50 years ago, I did tree trimming a little bit, hauled it off. I'm too old to trim my trees now, so you're going to make me pay a price to have my trees trimmed, while the young guy out here is paying nothing for it.
Right.
So you're penalizing the older people by what you're fixing to pass now.
No,
Yes,
no,
you
no, I
are.
mean, this is all discussion.
It's
This goes-
discussion,
no,
but all I've
listen-
heard it's discussed
listen to
was
me,
a
sir.
fine or not pick up.
No, listen to me, this is what I was talking about earlier. I don't believe that should happen to you for that penalty reason. You're a tax-paying citizen, and whether it's commercial or not, if it goes to the landfill, I'm saying that the property that it was generated on, ain't paying taxes. That's where to me, it goes back to the same thing, that you've got people who are hauling it in commercially. Well, God bless them for hauling it in for us. It came from that tax-paying generated piece of property, so there should not, in my opinion, there should not be a stipulation like that.
Well, I don't know. That's
Call.
You all set the rates about 20-some cents on the 100, I think, is for
23.
the Bury's part of it. It's 20-some cents, isn't it?
I believe that's right.
23 cents.
23.
that's the tipping fee.
I lived in this county longer than part of y'all been living. I remember how trashy it used to be years ago and how much cleaner it is now, and it still could be improved a heck of a lot.
Amen.
$2 waste. You're fixing penalized. Now, Jim Glover's talked about what the city does. I know the city has the dumpsters that they'll take and sit on the property for them to clean houses out and so forth. The county don't have those dumpsters like that.
Do they charge for those dumpsters, Jim?
Those at the city,
If they take it to a place where they're emptying at their
No
house?
charge for it. They take there and they'll clean the house out.
Right.
And
but,
the city
but
pick it.
also, I want you to understand this. The city has the equipment and it's more centralized.
I understand that, but that was an example of penalizing because the county don't have it. They have to go a different route. You got different equipment completely. You got the leaf pickup. You got the different trucks on that. You got trailers on behind some just the trucks that pulls the trailers. The county has the trucks that are all the same except the ones that picks up brush and bulk waste. They got two types of vehicles the county does. You have about 6.
That may be
So-
something that we look at.
And all I've heard tonight is how much you're gonna fine people. I heard you need to fine people. Who's gonna pay the fine? The homeowner's gonna pay the fine because there's people that moves down to it, and the homeowner is a taxpayer onto it. I agree that some of these people trimming the trees needs to be something done about it. But you're going back with what you're talking about now is penalizing the older people.
No, not necessarily. I mean, as long as you're allowed to, we're talking about how we can get it hauled to the landfill.
Well,
And again, like I was telling him, Barry, you've heard me say this before. It's not right for an 80-year-old person that has to hire someone to trim the trees, you know? And that's what gets, to me, is where's the fine line with, it's a tax-generating piece of property. So what does it make the difference if we're doing it, that we can't do it, and then how do we get it, same back to the commercial guy. I mean, as long as the guy's doing a job for a citizen in a tax piece, and you had this discussion, tax,
Yes.
I mean, that property, let's say go back to him remodeling. You hit the lease, if he hauls it out there, why should he be charged at the landfill for that? Because it came from that tax generating piece of property. So I mean, those are all good, they're good, it's good input, you know? It's good input, but we don't have anything set in stone here what we want to do. That's why we're having an open discussion about it. But
Here's what I tell my tree trimmer. If he says, I'm gonna cut your trees, I ask him how much he's gonna charge me for cutting that tree, and I'll tell him, this is what I tell him. I had one to do me that way. And I said, you cannot leave these limbs here. You have to take them to the landfill yourself. He's doing the job, he should take the limbs to the landfill.
I agree.
When they trim the tree, don't they grind it up? Do the county charge them for putting that out, do grind it up? Do they burn that, or how they,
It's burnt.
you burn?
If he's a,
Most of
if he's a commercial tree trimmer, then he.
they grind the trees up.
Yeah, they charge them at the landfill.
The county charge them to bring it out there and dump it out there?
Yes, $75 a load.
I don't know, I mean, I'm just asking Jim.
Well, that guy told
You
me.
see a lot of trim here in Marshtown.
Those ought to go across the scale.
Yeah, they go across the scale. Well,
He's paying.
that's what I thought, I mean, I didn't know, but
That's Scotty's point too, though.
Yeah,
Is that if
I
that's
see what
generated
Scotty
from that
called it.
taxpayer, that they don't have to pay
Yeah.
that commercial person to haul it out there.
Oh, yeah, they do, because that tree trimmer charges you for that. The tree trimmer
That's between
charges.
you and him, Glenn.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what my tree trimmer did. That's what he told me. He charges you for that.
He sure does.
He does. It's a business.
Not gonna do it for nothing.
They know.
They'll charge you one rate
Yeah.
if they have to haul it off, and then they say, if you'll let me cut this up and set it down there and let the county do it, I'll give you this lower rate, because I don't have to haul it out.
To everybody's point, that's why we're discussing. That is why we're discussing though, because we have to start somewhere to make it better for all of us.
I know my
We want
tree
to
trimmer
get rid of
charged me
surface
for
that
mine.
causes
He
continuing
did.
rise, and we just have to get a handle on it, is all we're trying to do. You don't wanna cut anybody's
he told me.
surfaces, especially yours. You don't wanna cut it. Want you to have every obligation or every right you have to what you have currently, and just make it better, where you aren't paying for somebody that's abusing the system. And that's all we're trying to do, is come up with that point where we can make it an even field and make it good for everybody. That's all we want to do, is take a valuable, tangible service and make it better. I don't want to take anything away from you. You've done your time, and I want to help you. That's what we want to do.
Then change your mind about all these fines you want to put on
Well, now,
people.
hold on, there is fines out there because there's people that abuse, and we have to figure out a way. If we don't come up with that, we might as well stay where we're at and just go home. Everybody pile it all at the road if we don't come up with something. We're not wanting to charge you, but when you have a tree trimmer come to your house, after we get these regulations started, that'll be between you, that'll be the contract you and him come up with. Are you hauling this off for me? And they're not supposed to charge you if we get what we're talking about done. They're not supposed to charge you because you're bringing it from my home. You see, we're gonna have to come up with this. It's gonna take time. This is, Jim Stepp said it 2 months ago. This is a process. It's gonna take time. And we're just educating ourselves right now as far as what to do. They're all valid points. I see, you know, there's a lot of workable stuff here. From the tipping fee that you said to everybody. We just gotta put it all together and come up with that process.
The right solution to handle the problem. Because back to something that you said, sir, I'm 61, you're older than I am, but I've never seen Hamilton County allowing the things to happen that are happening now in Hamilton.
I said it, there's a lot of ways to go yet to get it like it should be. I made that statement.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than it was 50 years ago too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
it's
grew up when
improved.
We didn't have
It
those.
improved, but now it's back down a little bit. But
And people were just dumping. You know, they went out and found rural areas and they were dumping it.
They still do.
I know, but not to the volume that they did
Amen, but they still do.
years ago.
There's always gonna be somebody abusing.
So guys,
That's
take
what we're
this,
trying to stop.
I hope so.
take this and let's work on it for a document. And, is there any other suggestions you want to put in or anything? Anything we need to do? Barry, you're working on some kind of timeline, scheduling or something to figure out what we can do. Because the same as we got to notify people, and, you know, not we're going to do anything anytime soon, but, you know, we've got to be able to.
We counted the number of stops we made 1 month here. I think we counted August. Well, we're gonna select another month and count, so we'll have some ideas to how many stops we made. I wish I'd counted back in June or something, when we were the heaviest.
I'd say you're heavier. Is that June or is it out more spring?
It's more spring, like April, May.
April, May.
Yeah.
Because that's whenever it's in everybody's mindset to do the spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your input, everybody.
Hey, Barry, is it